The wrestling world just hit a reset button. A comeback that was over a decade in the making, and it has already become the single most talked about moment in all of sports entertainment. AJ Lee is back in WWE. The social media numbers are shattering records. The fan reaction is at an all-time high, and it has set up a dream mixed tag match with her husband, CM Punk. But this is more than just a return. It's a story of mental health advocacy, a legacy cemented, and a feud with Becky Lynch that began years ago. We'll break down every detail of her epic return, the viral numbers, and what it means for the future of WWE. Before we dive into this massive story, your support means everything. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single moment of our coverage. This is a WWE News Report. The September 5th episode of Friday Night SmackDown will go down in history as one of the most memorable and impactful shows of the last decade. The tension between CM Punk and World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins had reached a fever pitch, but what no one saw coming was the arrival of a figure from the past to tip the scales. As Punk was about to be overwhelmed by Rollins and the Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch, the arena went dark. The sound of a record scratching filled the air, and then a familiar, skipping entrance theme hit. The crowd erupted as AJ Lee made her triumphant return, aligning herself with her husband and instantly becoming the most talked-about person in professional wrestling. In a fiery promo, she grabbed a microphone, looked Becky Lynch dead in the eye, and delivered a statement that has already become legendary. "My name is AJ Lee, and I'm your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler." She then dove into a chaotic brawl, backing up Punk and sending Rollins and Lynch scrambling from the ring. It was a moment that felt like a seismic shift, not just for the storyline, but for the entire company. The social media numbers alone tell you everything you need to know. The initial return video posted by WWE has already surpassed 178 million views across all platforms, with individual clips of her promo and her confrontation with Becky Lynch racking up an additional 16 million views. This isn't just a wrestling moment. It's a global pop culture event. Fans are calling it the most iconic return in history, with posts celebrating her comeback garnering hundreds of thousands of likes and shares. The sheer scale of the reaction has outpaced even major pay-per-view events, cementing AJ Lee's status as a viral phenomenon. So why now? And why Becky Lynch? The answer to that question is rooted in a history that extends beyond the ring. You see, the return of AJ Lee isn't just about a championship or a rivalry. It's about a deep, personal history. AJ Lee, whose real name is April Jeanette Mendez, and CM Punk, whose real name is Philip Jack Brooks, have a long-standing, publicly documented relationship. They met in WWE, and their on-screen chemistry as a couple in 2012 eventually blossomed into a real-life romance. They married in 2014, just as Punk was leaving the company. AJ would follow him out the door less than a year later, retiring from in-ring competition in 2015. Becky Lynch, on the other hand, was still in the early stages of her WWE career when AJ was on her way out. The two never had a proper rivalry in the ring. However, in her book, The Man, Not a Memoir, Becky Lynch mentions an awkward encounter with AJ Lee backstage during her early days. While it was a small moment, it hinted at a lack of warmth between them. Fast forward to today, and that one-off encounter has become the perfect foundation for a rivalry built on the contrasting legacies of two trailblazers of women's wrestling. Becky Lynch, as a modern-day icon and a key figure in the women's revolution, now finds herself across the ring from AJ Lee, the Divas Era trailblazer who was a pioneer long before the term women's revolution existed. This is a clash of eras and a clash of two very different paths to the top. AJ Lee's legendary pipe bombshell promo from 2013, where she called out the cast of Total Divas for being worthless, lazy, B-list reality stars, set the stage for a new kind of women's wrestling. She championed the idea that women could be more than just models on a television show. They could be a main event attraction, a point made famous by her work with both male and female superstars. The rivalry between Punk and Rollins has now taken on an entirely new dimension. Becky Lynch, who inserted herself into their feud at the Clash in Paris, found a new and unexpected equal in AJ Lee. On the following episode of Raw, Punk and Lee officially challenged Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch to a mixed tag team match, an upcoming premium live event. The feud is now officially a family affair, with the stakes higher than ever. But AJ Lee's legacy extends far beyond her in-ring persona. Since leaving WWE, she has become a passionate advocate for mental health awareness. In her memoir, Crazy is My Superpower: How I Triumphed by Breaking Bones, Breaking Hearts, and Breaking the Rules, she bravely revealed her struggles with bipolar disorder and her difficult childhood, which included poverty, homelessness, and addiction in her family. Her candid discussion of her mental health struggles has made her an inspiration to millions and has broken down the stigma surrounding the topic. This is a powerful subtext to her return. When she came back and said, "My name is AJ Lee," it wasn't just a reintroduction. It was a reclamation of her identity, one that she once felt was tied to her unstable character. She is now a hero not just for her in-ring work, but for her honesty and vulnerability outside of it. The social media posts celebrating her return often mention this, with fans sharing their own mental health journeys and thanking AJ for being a role model. The excitement surrounding this return is not just nostalgia. It's about a character who has been gone for over a decade, but whose impact is still felt every single day. Her feuds with wrestlers like Caitlyn and Paige helped usher in a new era of competitive women's wrestling. Her in-ring style, a mix of high-flying maneuvers and submission holds, was a stark contrast to the wrestling of her time. She proved that a woman didn't need to be 6 feet tall and built like a superhero to be a believable champion. She was a scrappy underdog who fought with heart and charisma, and fans connected with that authenticity on a profound level. The return of AJ Lee is also a testament to the new WWE. Under the leadership of Paul Levesque, the company has mended fences with numerous past stars who left on bad terms, including CM Punk and now his wife. Her return feels like the final piece of a puzzle, bridging the gap between the old guard and the new era of women's wrestling. This storyline has all the ingredients of an all-time classic: a real-life couple facing a real-life couple, a clash of legacies, and a personal history that goes beyond the confines of the ring. The match is more than just a fight. It's a culmination of a decade of anticipation. For the first time, fans will see these four powerhouses share the ring together. It's the kind of main event that sells tickets and sets up a new chapter in WWE history. And with AJ Lee back, the women's division just got a whole lot more exciting. The significance of AJ Lee's return goes far deeper than just a single moment or a viral video. It's about a foundational shift in the entire philosophy of WWE's approach to its past. For years, the company has had a strained relationship with many of its former stars. The narrative was often, "You're with us or you're against us." But under the new leadership of Paul Levesque, that wall has been systematically dismantled. First came Cody Rhodes, the prodigal son who left to prove his worth and came back as a main event player. Then, of course, CM Punk, a man many believed would never set foot in a WWE ring again after his highly public and bitter departure. And now, AJ Lee, the last piece of that puzzle. Her return is the final, definitive proof that the company is willing to mend fences and welcome back anyone who can help build a better future for the product. This new attitude has changed the dynamic backstage as well. Reports from inside the company suggest there's a huge wave of excitement among the current roster, especially the women. Many of the top female stars today, including Bayley, Paige, and Alexa Bliss, have spoken in the past about how AJ Lee's career inspired them. To have her back, to share a locker room and possibly a ring with her, is a moment of validation for her legacy and a source of motivation for the younger generation. It's a passing of the torch, a moment where the past and future of the women's division are truly connecting. But let's take a step back and really appreciate the legacy of AJ Lee. She was not your typical diva. In an era dominated by models and reality TV stars, she was a true professional wrestling fan. She wore her love for the industry on her sleeve. She was the Black Widow, the crazy chick, a character that was completely unique and authentic. She was also one of the few women in her era to have a long-running, significant storyline with male superstars like Daniel Bryan and John Cena. This blurred the lines between the men's and women's divisions in a way that was almost unheard of at the time. Her relationship with Daniel Bryan, for example, was a long, complex saga that spanned months and culminated in her becoming the general manager of Raw. She was one of the most prominent on-screen characters, regardless of gender, and she did it by being a great performer, a great talker, and a phenomenal mind for the wrestling business. It's no exaggeration to say that without AJ Lee, the women's revolution, as we know it, might never have happened. Her 2013 promo calling out the cast of Total Divas wasn't just a promo. It was a statement. It was a plea for professional wrestling to be taken seriously and for the women who loved the sport to be given a chance to shine. That moment, that tweet, and her subsequent feuds with wrestlers like Caitlyn and Paige laid the groundwork for the future. Her feud with Paige, in particular, was a landmark rivalry. It was the first time in years that the women's division had a compelling, in-ring rivalry that was given a proper amount of time and attention. Their matches felt important, their promos felt personal, and the fans were invested in their story. That rivalry showed the WWE that there was a hungry audience for compelling women's wrestling, and it was a major factor in the company's decision to elevate the division. Her return is so much more than just a moment for her. It's a tribute to the Divas Era. It's a reminder of a time when the women's division was a smaller, more niche part of the company, but it was also a time when a few women, like AJ, stood up and said, "We want more." Her return is a celebration of that era and a reminder that the trailblazers who paved the way deserve to be remembered and celebrated. Now, let's talk about the match itself. AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. This is not just a mixed tag match. This is a true dream match. It has a perfect storyline for of the best performers of their generation, and it has real-life heat. CM Punk and Seth Rollins have had a long and very public feud. It started years ago when Rollins was a rookie and Punk was a main event star. Rollins has always felt that Punk abandoned the company and his friends, while Punk has always had a sense of disdain for Rollins' persona and his willingness to conform to the WWE system. Their feud is personal and has been brewing for nearly a decade. Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, on the other hand, have a rivalry that is just beginning, but it's built on a foundation of respect and a clash of eras. AJ Lee, the Divas Era pioneer, versus Becky Lynch, the women's revolution icon. It's a storyline that writes itself. A clash of two of the most popular and influential women in WWE history. This is the first chapter in what will likely be a long and unforgettable saga. But beyond the wrestling and the rivalries, AJ Lee's story is one of incredible strength and courage. She has been incredibly open about her struggles with mental health, something that was almost unheard of for a public figure of her stature. Her memoir, Crazy is My Superpower, has become a beacon of hope for so many people who are dealing with similar issues. She used her platform to talk about something real and difficult, and in doing so, she gave a voice to millions of people who felt like they had to suffer in silence. Her decision to come back now, to step into the spotlight after all these years, is a testament to how far she has come in her own journey. It's a statement that she is ready to be a hero, not just in the ring, but for the millions of fans who have been inspired by her story. Her social media presence has also changed. She's no longer just tweeting in-character promos. She's engaging with fans on a deeper, more personal level. She recently responded to a post from a fan who was dealing with their own mental health issues, and she gave them a message of hope and encouragement. This is the new AJ Lee. She's still the rebellious, quirky character we all fell in love with, but she's also a mature, confident woman who is using her fame to make a real difference in the world. The return of AJ Lee has also had a ripple effect across the entire wrestling industry. It's brought a renewed sense of excitement and energy to the WWE product. The ratings for SmackDown and Raw have been at an all-time high, and the tickets for WrestlePalooza EA are selling out at a record pace. This is a testament to the power of a good story and the enduring popularity of WWE's biggest stars. The narrative of this story is built on a very simple and powerful idea. Everything comes back. The company that once had a strained relationship with its biggest stars is now a company that is celebrating their return. The wrestlers who once felt they had to leave to find their voice are now coming home to use that voice on the biggest stage in the world. This is not just a return. It's a validation of a new era of wrestling, an era where the past and the future can coexist and build something great together. The future for AJ Lee is filled with possibilities. She could have a long and meaningful run in the women's division, challenging for the title and mentoring the next generation of superstars. She could also transition into a non-wrestling role, perhaps as a producer or a trainer, passing on her incredible knowledge of the business to the new recruits. Or, as many fans hope, she could have one last epic run before retiring on her own terms, this time with a definitive end to her story. Whatever the future holds, one thing is for sure. The return of AJ Lee is the biggest moment in professional wrestling in a decade. It's a moment that has captured the attention of the world and reminded us all why we fell in love with this business in the first place. The story is far from over, and we will be here every step of the way to bring you all the latest updates on this unfolding saga.